Hello there. Now we are in the center of all the alphabets. And the most important alphabet is something which I'm going to handle today. You know what? L. Think of all the beautiful words that come in your mind when I talk about L. First important word that comes in my mind is L stands for living. We're all living. Are we? Or are we breathing? As I told you the other day, all those that are breathing are not essentially living. Living in true meaning of the word means something else, which I'm going to handle today. First of all, the letter that leads that word living is L. We'll focus on L. To me, living is great, but it is we who have made it small. It is we who have reduced it to just breathing. We are just living for ourselves in this world. And then we say we want to be great, we want to improve ourselves, we want to be excellent, we want to contribute in other person's life, we want to be history makers. The first thing is we need to transform this small L nomenclature, which is this small living. How can we live a higher life, richer life, a life of worth, value, is something which we're going to see today. I quite often ask in my seminars, what is the spelling of the word living? Answer it yourself. What is the spelling of the word living? ING. And the first time I said, change that spelling for the first time in your life and once for all. Go to the dictionary, get to the page where that word living comes, take a red marker, mark it, cross it out, and rewrite the new spelling of living. The moment you do it, you are beginning your journey in this transformation. You know what is the right spelling of living? It's not L-I-V-I-N-G. It is L-O-V-I-N-G. So we transform from the small l to the capital L. There are three transformations from the word living. The first one is living is loving. Because if you have no love, you have no life. Love is the energy. It's a law as certain as gravity. To live fully, one must learn how to use things and love people, not love things and use people. John Powell. Think of it. Use things and love people, not love things and use people. What are these guys doing? The smaller life. They love their things and use their people. They love their car, but they don't care for the driver. Everything they have, their car, their house, their wristwatch, their building, their money, they're in love with. And for them, they can do anything. But that's a small life, man. That's a small life. They're living for themselves. Living for all those material prosperities. That is the definition. That is the perspective with which they live their life. But when we begin that journey for transformation, you introduce that powerful thing called love. And we change the perspective from loving things and using people to loving people and using things. Everything is vibration, we know that, don't we? All the material things in this world gets depreciated. But only one thing gets appreciated. People. Because people are higher vibration energy. So if we are higher vibration energy, if we are higher frequency energy, then the only way we can sustain that energy is by relating with people. And love is that vibration. And love is the frequency with which we relate with other people. We contribute in their lives. We bring them around. We relate with them. We travel together. Together we work and make the world a better place to live in. It is because of that small living, which is without love, we have created natural calamities. All the ecological imbalance, the war, the flood, the earthquake, the perforations in the ozone layer. It is people who have created it. It is the selfishness in the heart of these people. Me alone has created all this. We have sown this seed right at our childhood, in the stage of infancy. The psychologists say that we have brought this culture before we were 7 years of age. The moment we landed from the womb, from that day up to 7 years, we inculcate in our psychology that paradigm of selfishness, that perspective of ego. We learned it everywhere from around us, who have told us to be self-important, to be better than others, to get the best for yourself. Oh, you are not so good. The parents tell to their children, look at him, he is so better. Look at her, she is so better. You are impoverished, you are not so good, you are good for nothing. So we institute in them that culture of ego. And from there, the guy goes all out to get everything for themselves. And we reduce the real meaning of life to selfishness, to that small living, to that perspective of me alone. But the moment you introduce love, the first thing that happens in our life when we create a family, why the culture of family has come. Culture of family has come to teach us that there are other people in our life also, to teach us how to love, to break away from that limited zone of selfishness. One of the greatest psychologists the world has produced had wonderfully defined love for the first time theoretically. He said love constitutes of 4 factors. CRRK. C stands for care. R stands for respect. The next R stands for responsibility. And K stands for knowledge. When we introduce these 4 elements into that small living, when we begin caring for other person, we have taken the first step to love that person. Can you love someone without caring for the person? Of course you can't. And after caring, we respect the other person. We respect the other person's thoughts, ideas, philosophies, likes and dislikes. We don't control the other person. We do not want to make the other person like us. Quite often in my counseling session, the husband would come and say, we are not creating music. My wife is not like me. I laugh a little and ask him, would you marry her if she was exactly like you? She is the opposite. And that's the beginning of love. I give an example of what we call in our classical music world, we call Jugal Bandi. Jugal means two, Bandi means understanding, a bond. And what is Jugal Bandi? Someone plays the sitar, and someone plays the violin, and someone plays the tabla. Does the sitar complain? The violin is not like me. If they complain, will they play a Jugal Bandi? The violin does not create a music like tabla creates, but they don't fight with each other. They create a vibration with each other. They create a harmony with each other. Even in the Western culture, we have the concept of consort. We go to hear the consort, where there are so many musical instruments which play together, create a symphony, create a wonderful music. People get enchanted. And that's the reality of life. Respect the other person. And unless we respect the other person, unless we give freedom to the other person, unless we are able to say, I shall love you when you deserve the least, because that is the time when you need it the most. If I don't believe that love is a bird which flies in freedom, and if we don't give freedom to the person we love, we make the other person subservient to ourselves. We are controlling the other person, and that's not an unconditional love. That's making it too small. That's once again reducing it to that small nomenclature of living. So that's why Eric said, respect. The third element is responsibility. Most of the people fail here. We can care, we can respect. But are we able to take the responsibility of the person unconditionally? You got to. If you love someone, you won't say, I love you if you are like this. I love you if you listen to me. I love you if you follow my instructions. Those are not love. I take your responsibility, regardless of anything, because I love you. People will say, Ashit, why do you love me? I don't love you. I said, that's fine. You don't love me is your prerogative. But I still love you. I love you in spite of you. I love you without you. And if I love you, I shall be there. There is a wonderful statement which goes very well in our Indian culture. There's a film which has come out, Main Hoon Na, which means what? Am I not there with you? So that's true love, when we take the responsibility of the other person. Last but not the least is knowledge. Knowledge. Do you know something? 65% of conjugal relationships are not transparent. They don't know each other. They didn't have a formal session to sit down together and learn everything about her, him. We just fell in love and we got married. Fell in love. The moment you fall in love, you stop rising in love. I said, don't fall in love. I said, rise in love. That's a new nomenclature. Falling in love is conditional. Rising in love is unconditional. Is it possible? You have suspicion. You have doubt. Get that out of your life. It's possible. It's possible to invest in unconditional love. And if you do that, you will take the responsibility. And then you will go to know the person. When you know the person, you will know his or her pain, suffering, why that person behaves in a certain way which you dislike. So you will change your judgment into compassion. Judgment into compassion. We are so judging. Every moment we try to judge the other person. We create an emblem on him or her. We create an image through which we all the time look at the other person. We got a framework and we put all the people in that framework. That is called prejudice. All these negativities will be washed off if you invest in knowledge. Quite often, when there is a difference between a couple and they come to me for counseling, first of all, I said, when is your next holiday? I said, why? I said, both of you go for a holiday. 7 days together. Nobody should be there. Only both of you. Go out far away, near the sea or far away in the hills or in a new country. Spend time with each other. And if you do that, most of the time, your differences will ease out because you will communicate. You will communicate and you will understand. You will understand each other. This beautiful word called understanding. Understanding. I understand you. I am not so worried about making myself understood. I want to understand you. If both the partners invest their energies understanding each other, there will be true love. So small l will be transformed to capital L, from living to loving. And that's not all. I mentioned about the 3L concept. There is another L which will help you to ascend to the higher realm from that lower realm of just living or breathing. And that is called learning. In Life 101, that famous book, Roger and William, the first chapter was so exciting. These two engaged themselves in researching about life. They wanted to find out how to define life. What is life? And they wrote that 101 ways. They looked at life. Beautiful book. I recommend that book. Please read that. Life 101. It's a prized possession for me and many other people. One of my close friends in 1996. I preserve it. You know what's the first chapter where Roger and William wrote? Life is about learning. Life is a teacher. We all the time need to learn. Need to complete the cycle. That incomplete cycle of our life will be complete with learning. In our wonderful Bhagavad Gita, there is a beautiful saying called Shraddhavan Lavate Jnanam. Shraddha means, the closest translation, Sanskrit is a mother language, it's very difficult to translate the meaning of every word completely. Even the English language is not complete. Even any other language, let's say Hindi, is not complete to describe one Sanskrit word. And Shraddha is such a word, it cannot be translated by one word. Shraddha means respect, Shraddha means obedience, Shraddha means submission, Shraddha means eagerness, Shraddha means dedication, devotion, faith. So many beautiful things come in this word called Shraddha. Shraddhavan means the person who has Shraddha. Lavate means gets. Jnanam means knowledge. If you want to learn, you got to have respect. So when we bow down to life and we say, life, teach me. I want to learn today. What am I learning today? So learning is the capital L, and the third and the final capital L is leading. Wow, what a wonderful thing. I call it my 4L concept. Living, loving, learning, and leading. And what is leading? Gone are those days when you can lead people with a stick in the hand. Because people are not donkeys that you use your stick all the time to get things done by them. They will do it once, but they won't do it for all your life. So ladies and gentlemen, leadership, it comes with love only. You lead people by love. You care for them, and that's the reason they'll follow you. So, I'm pretty sure this 4L concept will create an impact in your mind. Transformation from small L, living, to the capital L, loving, learning, and leading. And when you ascend to that higher realm of your life, you are living a richer life, higher life, quality life. And your life is filled with both success and happiness together. Thank you very much for being with me. Wait to have more next time. Thank you very much.